Hello everyone, I hope you're ready and sitting comfortable. We're going to read some more stories by Shirley Hughes, and these are stories about Alfie and Annie Rose. Are you ready? There we go. This one is called Breakfast. Early one morning, Alfie helped his baby sister, Annie Rose, out of her cot and they went downstairs. Alfie went down forwards, holding on to the banisters, while Annie Rose went down backwards, feet first. Daddy was in the kitchen having his breakfast, so Alfie and Annie Rose joined in and had breakfast too. Alfie sat at the table in a proper chair. He had a china bowl with marching bears round the edge, and Annie Rose, his sister, sat in a high chair with the tray in front. She had a plastic drinking mug and a bowl and her own little spoon. Here they are. Can you see? Now, what happens next? While Alfie was eating his cereal, Annie Rose pretended she was playing in a band. She drummed a spoon on the tray. Ring-a-ding-a-ding, bong-bong, sang very loudly. Mora, 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 gora, doo-doo-la. Daddy hid behind the cornflakes packet, while Annie Rose was singing and playing because it was so noisy. There she is. While Alfie got tired of spooning up his cereal, he made patterns in his bowl instead. He made the crumbly bits into an island with sea of milk all around. But soon the island got soppy and soggy, and he gave each bear that was on his bowl a piece of it with the tips of his spoon. After this breakfast, it looked rather messy. There he is. Can you see? There are the bears on his bowl. There, and he's pretending to feed them with his spoon. Yeah? Very messy. Then Alfie kindly started to help Annie Rose with her breakfast. He filled up her drinking mug with milk. Annie Rose could drink out of it very well by herself. But when she had enough, she started to drip the rest upside down onto her tray and onto the floor. Daddy had to get up to get the floor mop and mop it up. There is the naughty girl. Look at her, making a mess on the floor. Annie Rose could eat out of her bowl too, but when she wanted to. Then Alfie was helping her to fill up her spoon. But today she couldn't make up her mind where her breakfast was supposed to go. She tried putting it into her ear, then onto her hair, and then she started to spread it all over her tray. Quite a bit of it went down the front. No, Annie Rose, put it in here, Annie Rose, said Alfie, opening out his mouth wide and pointing where it had to go. Look at her. She's having fun, isn't she? No. Then Annie Rose opened up her mouth wide and a big spoon of breakfast went in, all by herself. Ah! Look, Daddy, Annie Rose is eating up her breakfast, shouted Alfie. Eating is quieter than singing, I suppose, said Daddy. That was well done by Annie Rose. She learned to eat all by herself. Can you see? That was fun. Now, shall we do one more? Grandma's pictures. There's Grandma. Alfie and Annie Rose had a grandma. She drove about here and there in a little red car. She often came to visit them. Sometimes she brought them presents, even when it wasn't anyone's birthday. Now, we're missing that at the moment, aren't we? Because we're not allowed to go and visit people, and people are not allowed to visit us. But soon they will come again, don't worry. It will all come back. Grandma could dance, and she could sing, and she could tell stories. And she and Alfie did a lot of cooking together. Oh, that looks fun, doesn't it? Grandma had a very big book full of pictures. They were photographs of everyone in the family, and Alfie liked to look at them and asking her who all these different people were. Do you have a photo album like that? I do. I've got lots of photo albums with lots of pictures because that's something I really like. There was a picture of Grandma and Grandpa on their wedding, and a picture of Mummy when she was a little girl, and another one where she was a big girl, a schoolgirl, and then there was a picture of Mummy and Daddy at the seaside before they got married. So there's Grandpa and Grandma when they got married. There's Mummy when she was young, and very little young Mummy, and there's Mummy and Daddy when they were going out together. See? There were some pictures of Alfie and Annie Rose too, and they were tiny babies. The one Alfie liked the best was the picture of himself having a bath in the old baby bathtub. I've got one of those of my two children, sitting together with soap all over their hair and faces. Can you see? Have you got one of these pictures too? Now, what happened next? The oldest picture in the book was rather faded. It was of Grandma and her brother Will when they were children, and that was a long time ago. Alfie liked hearing Grandma tell about when things were like then, and about how they lived in the countryside and didn't have a car or a television set. Grandma and Will had to walk every day a long way to school, along a green lane with hedges on either side, full of white flowers and blackberries. There's that picture of Grandma and her brother, and there's other blackberries. Can you see? Grandma liked school, even though the teacher was very strict. Grandma's brother Will was older than she was, and he didn't like to go to school one bit. As they got nearer and nearer to school every morning, Will would walk more and more slowly. Often Grandma said she had to drag him along by the hand in case they were late. Sometimes they would arrive at school just in time, as the school bell stopped ringing. Will hated school so much that one morning, do you know what he did? He took off his grey school trousers and he threw them over the hedge. It was a very big hedge, so there was no hope of getting them back. He walked on in his underpants to the school door. There he is, walking. Can you see? Of course, when the teacher saw him like that, and all the children were giggling, she couldn't let him come into the classroom. He had to stay in the boys' cloakroom all morning, and at dinner time she sent him home in a pair of borrowed trousers. They were much too big, and they had to be held up with braces, which are these elastic bands that go from the top all the way over your shoulders. But Will didn't mind. He got what he wanted, which was the next day off school. You see, Grandma explained that they only had one pair of good trousers. Their mother wouldn't dream of letting him go in school in anything else, so she had to wake up early, walk up the lane, climb over the high gate into the field and rescue the trousers. They were dirty, they're the trousers, all over from cow poo. The next day, Mummy washed the trousers and hung them on the clothesline to dry, while Will stayed indoors and played with his new jigsaw puzzle. Does Will still live in the country and have no car and television? Said Alfie. Oh no, said Grandma. He grew up a long time ago, and he went to live far, far away in Australia, the other side of the world. Now he has a big car and a television, and he owns a store which sells men's, boys' and clothes. Does he have trousers in his store? Said Alfie. Yes, said Grandma. Many, many pairs. There is Uncle Will grown up, with his nice car and his shop with clothes. That was the end of the story. I'm going to read you one another day. See you soon. Bye-bye.